Iranian strikes have reportedly inflicted up to $13 billion in losses on U.S. equipment and facilities, according to a Wall Street Journal analysis, a figure that remains difficult to independently verify and could change as assessments continue. More than 42 U.S. military aircraft, including F-15 and F-35 fighter jets, MQ-9 Reaper drones, and an A-10, have reportedly been damaged or destroyed in Iranian attacks since the war began, based on satellite imagery and open-source analysis cited by BBC Verify. The $13 billion damage bill may not be the final figure, because Iran's attacks have continued to target U.S. bases, aircraft, radar, satellite communications, refueling facilities, and other critical military infrastructure across the Middle East. Fighter jets, drones, and vital support assets have been hit across multiple sites, showing that the financial cost of the conflict is rising not only through aircraft losses but also through damage to hangars, fuel depots, barracks, radars, and air defense equipment. Whether a new wave of Iranian strikes could push the damage bill past $20 billion remains uncertain, but Tehran has threatened to hit U.S. assets and critical energy infrastructure across the Gulf if Washington launches further attacks. U.S. bases have already faced more than 2,000 Iranian air, missile, and drone attacks across the Middle East, according to the Wall Street Journal analysis, with at least 20 sites in 8 countries reportedly damaged, raising serious questions about the resilience of America's regional posture if the campaign continues. Amid the rising cost of war, the United States is reportedly facing up to $13 billion in equipment losses and facility damage from Iranian strikes across the Middle East, according to a Wall Street Journal assessment cited by multiple outlets. Iran has reportedly damaged or destroyed more than 42 U.S. military aircraft since the conflict began, though the figures are based on compiled reporting and open-source assessments rather than a full Pentagon loss disclosure. Large unmanned aircraft and fighter jets are included in this figure, with a congressional tally listing MQ-9 Reapers, KC-135 refueling aircraft, F-15ES, an F-35A, an A-10, and other U.S. airframes as damaged or lost. Details of the damage to American aircraft were reported by TASS on August 11, citing the Wall Street Journal's calculation of Iranian strikes on U.S. facilities and military equipment across the region. Since the start of the Iran-America war, Tehran has reportedly conducted more than 2,000 air, missile, and drone strikes across the Middle East, illustrating the scale and persistence of its retaliatory campaign against U.S.-linked targets. Iran's reported airstrike campaign includes both missiles and drones launched across the Middle East, targeting U.S. bases and shared facilities in countries including Jordan, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. At least 20 sites in 8 countries used by the U.S. military have reportedly sustained damage from Iranian attacks, including air defense systems, radar installations, aircraft support infrastructure, living quarters, and drone shelters. While America deals with the growing cost of the conflict, separate figures concerning financial aid and support linked to Iran have also emerged, adding another politically sensitive dimension to the debate over the long-term price of the war. Millions of dollars in donations were reportedly collected abroad and transferred to Iran, with Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi presenting the funds as voluntary support for communities and facilities affected by the recent war. These donations were reportedly sent to Iran both during and after the conflict, through diplomatic channels that also helped bring in medical equipment, medicines, ambulances, and other non-cash humanitarian assistance. Details of the foreign donations were reported by Iran International, citing comments from Iran's foreign minister on the scale and origins of the assistance provided from outside the country. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi revealed the information on August 11, while describing the foreign ministry's role in arranging health-related supplies and facilitating aid transfers during the war. Araghchi said that millions of dollars in foreign aid for Iranians have been raised by people living abroad, according to Tasneem News, though he did not disclose a precise total or provide an independent accounting. He said the final amount could be revealed later, explaining that much of the aid came from Iranian expatriates who had raised funds and collected supplies to support reconstruction and humanitarian needs at home. Araghchi also said that Shia communities, other Muslims, and supporters of the Islamic Republic had contributed donations, framing the fundraising effort as broader religious and political solidarity rather than a purely state-run campaign. The foreign minister further argued that the war showcased Iran as an invincible or unbreakable power, using the claimed flow of external support as evidence that Iran had retained resilience despite sustained wartime pressure. Iran's top diplomat described national solidarity among Iranians inside and outside the country as a defining feature of the recent war, pointing to fundraising, medical support, and reconstruction initiatives as signs of collective mobilization. Iran's foreign minister said Tehran would launch a new campaign abroad to channel financial and material assistance toward post-war recovery, with the foreign ministry coordinating the effort alongside the health ministry. The aid campaign will focus on rebuilding a hospital in Andimeshk that Iranian officials say was more than 80% destroyed during the US-Israeli war, with part of the required reconstruction funding already reportedly secured. Iranian state TV pundit Mohammad Marandi warned of a possible new US-Israeli attack on Iran amid heightened regional tensions. Marandi said US forces stationed in several countries across the region were mobilizing for a potential attack against Iran. He said the US could launch a blitz operation against Iran alongside Israel, according to Iran International. Mohammad Marandi said, and I quote, "Iran is aware that the Trump regime's forces in Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain and Jordan are mobilizing for a potential blitz attack, likely alongside Israeli forces, against the Iranian people," unquote. The Iranian pundit warned that Tehran was prepared to respond quickly and crushingly if another attack was launched. Marandi had also been part of an Iranian delegation involved in US-Iran talks mediated by Pakistan. Iran's Supreme Leader Mujtaba Khamenei ordered the IRGC to maintain high readiness. Mujtaba told new IRGC chief Ahmed Vahidi to prepare for powerful offensive operations amid heightened tensions. Mujtaba also ordered Vahidi to strengthen the IRGC's revolutionary spirit and ideological commitment among its forces.
Any questions for us?
Mr. President, in addition to this big announcement, you've also been posting about Iran today opposing their latest demands. You said this last round of talks was Iran's last chance before decapitation. So what now? What comes next?
You'll find out.
Are you still, are massive escalation, is that still on the table?
Well, we have that certainly that ability if we want to do that. Yeah, you'll find out.
You said you're low-keying it with them,
I
that you're
think so.
semi-negotiating. What exactly does that mean?
Well, they asked for reparations, you might say, or they asked for money for the damage that we've done. I said, that's a good idea. Well, we're going to ask for money for the damage they've done over a 50-year period. Whether you go SS Cole or whether you go all of the people that were so badly hurt, so badly wounded or killed, many thousands of people, and maybe damages for the 52,000 protesters over the last 4 months that were killed in Iran. We think their family should get damages for killing their person or their child or mother, father that were protesting. It's at least, it was 52,000 a month and a half ago. So now what is it? So if there's damages to be paid, I think Iran should pay those damages.
Mr. President, back to the subject of Iran, sir. Can you give us any estimate of when you think the Strait of Hormuz will be part
Well,
of
it's open now. We're taking a lot of shit. It's open now. Look, the only one that has control of the Strait of Hormuz right now is the United States Navy. We have a blockade that's been infallible. It's a steel wall. And we let people in that we want to let in, and those people come in, and they've been coming in and they're going out. So it's actually open now. We do not let them go into Iran. They're not admitted into the strait to go to Iran. But it's open for others. Now, a little bit complex because they will, on occasion, drop a mine, and we find the mines. You know, we've mine swept the entire strait, as you probably maybe heard, maybe you didn't hear. But we control the strait 100%. Now, can they make trouble? Yeah, they can make trouble. But they're broke. They have no money. You know, Iran is broke, totally broke. And they're not paying their soldiers. They have inflation of 300% as of last night. I heard 309%. So we'll see what happens. But they've been bad for, they say 47, it's actually 50 now. 47, they've been saying it for 3 years. But for 50 years, they've been the bully of the Middle East. What they've done is terrible. They've killed hundreds of thousands of people. They've killed people. They've wounded and maimed people with the legs, the arms. You know, with the roadside bomb is their bomb. They're very proud of it. And now they're paying a price.
You've been calling Chairman Warsh occasionally? What are you talking about?
No, actually, the Wall Street Journal had a wrong story. He said I spoke to him. No, I have tremendous respect for Kevin Warsh. I've only spoken to him one time briefly a few days ago, just a conversation. Look, he's going to do it. He's going to run it. I know what he'd like to do, but he has to run it. He's got a board. It's not only him. If it was up to him, it would be different. But he's got a board. But I've only, they said I speak to him all the time. And I've spoken to him one time since his assumption, since he took over. And great conversation, but he's a great guy. He's my pick. And I'm going with him 100%. But they made it sound like I live and breathe. I speak to Kevin all the time, every time. I spoke to him one time. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Press. Thank you.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.